To really understand the story behind Santa Claus or St. Nicholas, we have to go back to the 4th century, which is where Bishop Nicholas lived in what is now known as Turkey. Now, Bishop Nicholas was a very wealthy man who had a soft spot for the poor and for children and could often be seen throwing gifts into their windows at night while they slept. Now, the story of his generosity spread into a sort of legend, and he became known as the man who took care of people. Slowly, his popularity grew, and soon people all over the Mediterranean were celebrating his name day, which was December 6th. Now, after he died, Bishop Nicholas became Saint Nicholas and grew in popularity to the point where churches all over Europe were naming themselves after him. He even became the patron saint of Russia. By the 13th century, he had become the patron saint of children, and when the Dutch immigrated to the United States, they brought the legend of Saint Nicholas with them. Now, in Dutch, they referred to him as Sinter-Nicholas, which was eventually shortened to Sinterklaas, which was mispronounced in English as Santa Claus. After a while, the Dutch began to move away from their old traditions, and we might not even have known about Santa Claus had it not been for a writer by the name of Washington Irving, who wrote a book called Dietrich Knickerbocker's History of New York. Now, Dietrich Knickerbocker was a fictitious character that he had created to kind of poke fun at the old Dutch traditions. He didn't really exist. But Irving was a marketing genius. He wanted to create some excitement around the character and also generate book sales. So he created an elaborate hoax. What he did was he placed an ad in the New York Evening Post, and it said that a Dietrich Knickerbocker, a man not of his right mind, had gone missing. And so this was creating a lot of excitement around town, and everybody wanted to know more about him. Well, about 10 days later, a second letter was published by the paper, this saying that a man matching Dietrich's description had been seen heading north of the city. Well, a few more days went by, and then another letter was published in the paper, this from Dietrich Knickerbocker's supposed landlord. He said that he had gone to see Dietrich at his room because he owed him some rent, and when he got there, Dietrich had skipped town, and the only thing left in his room was a curious book that had been handwritten by Dietrich himself. Well, everyone wanted to know what was in the book, and before speculation could die down, the book was published 12 days later, and it became an instant hit. Washington Irving had created a publishing event, and he was the first to describe St. Nicholas as a jolly old Dutchman. After the publication of his book, the legend of St. Nicholas became an instant hit. As a matter of fact, many of the Dutch traditions that he had poked fun at in the book became the basis of our own traditions. So here we are 200 years later with children big and small all over the world, still looking forward to gifts under the tree, a little something special in their stockings, and a special visit from St. Nicholas.